Yes, I know with the free agency market, I'm right for the picking, dude. I'm right for the picking. Seriously, somebody could set me up. What do you mean there's no offers? Then what the heck do I pay you for? Oh, right, I don't pay you. Look, I you're supposed agents. Welcome to another episode of The Guido Goes Off. Ladies and gentlemen, there have been a lot of free agents coming about. Mostly because Anthem doesn't know how to do this. Anyway, so in this episode, I'm going to talk about the free agency market, where I think these people are going, depending upon their talent. Okay, first up, the big news from yesterday. On Chael Sonnen's podcast, Jack Swagger announced that he did ask for his release from WWE and it was granted. Uh, well, okay, so basically, for what he was saying, it was he wasn't the offer wasn't big enough for him to warrant staying because he's got a family to feed and a hot as hell wife to support, all that stuff. And don't get me wrong, now Jack Swagger has not had a televised match since October 18th of last year. So that's 5 months. 5 months he hasn't been on TV. So the big question is why not try to test the waters with somewhere else and try to get the money that you deserve? Now, don't get me wrong. Jack Swagger is a great athlete, and when allowed to, he can be a pretty good talker. He does, however, seem to have that thing where he can't really he really needs someone to help bring out the best in him. Like, for example, when he was with Dutch Mantel. Now, as far as where he could possibly go, clearly clearly Impact could be on the top of the list as far as his destinations, because of the fact that Dirty Dutch is once again working for Impact and is part of the creative team there. It could be a chance to give him a fresh start and give him something to work with, which it's clear WWE never really knew what to do with him, and probably a fresh change of pace and Impact Wrestling could quite possibly be big for him. So I would look for him to sign on here fairly soon. Okay, next up on the list, and I talked about this on the last episode, Drew Galloway. As we know, Drew Galloway has decided not to stay with Impact Wrestling, and he finally revealed the reason why, which is also the reason why Matt and Jeff Hardy could be out the door, but are out the door. But I'll talk about that later on. Apparently, Anthem did offer him a substantial amount of money to stay with Impact Wrestling. However, it was a 0-hour deal, and it was pretty much they tried to force him to sign. It was basically like with the last few hours of his contract of his current deal, they gave him the new one, and they're like, "Oh, you need to sign. You need to sign. You need to sign." Basically acting like a high-pressure used car salesman. And from what Galloway said, he didn't feel comfortable doing that because he's got a family to support, and to be honest, it shouldn't work like that. I mean, as we all know, like WWE, and I believe Ring of Honor to an extent, any wrestling company that has contracts with talent, they own a calendar. I mean, okay, except for the issue with Jeff Jarrett, WWE, but they didn't start negotiating several months before the deal expires, and so they could come to a hopefully mutually beneficial deal. Anthem did not do that. Anthem, in their infinite wisdom, I'm sure, some people might not agree with me on this, but Anthem, with the money, and it's clear that they had the money and they wanted to spend it on Galloway, but they knew the deal was coming up and decided to offer at the last possible minutes. That's not good business. If you're in a contract situation, you know somebody's deal is up, that is what you negotiate several months prior. You don't do the, here, sign! You don't do that. You're all professionals. You know how to negotiate. You know a timetable for negotiations. But anyway, that was the main reason why Drew Galloway did not sign. Now, as far as where he could go, clearly, he is in demand on the indie scene, as it is already. Several promotions in the United Kingdom. Also, could do some work here in the States. Of course, Canada. So, it's a high probability he could go to WWE, but he's one of those people that does not have to. He can make really good money on the indie scene and probably wants to fulfill his indie obligations. Now, we still don't know if WWE has reached out to him to bring him back into the fold. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to see 3MB again. Nothing against Heath Slater. Heath Slater seems to be doing... Heath Slater was doing pretty well with that with Rhino, and I think put the 3MB behind him. But to do something with Galloway, bringing him back as Drew McIntyre, bringing back that Chosen One type of gimmick, it could work. But like I said, he could go to WWE, but he does not have to. And so I see there's a possibility of him going to WWE, but it will not be anytime soon. I would say the earliest would be around, would be in late summer. But I do see like a 70% chance he could be back on WWE's roster by the end of the year. I'm having a premonition that Matt and Jeff Hardy could be in WWE very soon. As we all know, Matt and Jeff Hardy are going to let their contract lapse and are going to be free agents as of, I believe, Friday. I did report on this on my show, on my last show. But Reby did confirm, very similar to Drew Galloway, Matt and Jeff Hardy, who are still, as of this exact moment, under contract with Impact, but it won't be for very long. But from what I gather, they have, Reby talked on a show that they're going to let their contract lapse, that they will not be a part of the Impact roster and will be free agents. So, where could they go? It's been well known and well documented where Matt and Jeff want to go. I mean, right now, heck, Matt Hardy's laying the groundwork with a feud with Bray Wyatt, and I think it would be just plain awesome for that to come to fruition, especially, I mean, he may have the broken Matt Hardy gimmick in some form, and of course, Jeff Hardy's brother era, but Jeff Hardy's could be Jeff Hardy, and still be popular with the fans. These two are household names in the tag team world. These two are, ever since introducing the broken gimmick, it looks like it's the most fun they have ever had in their wrestling careers. And if they're allowed to keep that, which I believe they are, since Matt Hardy owns the broken Hardy gimmick, it could bring that over and really get into some high profile feuds and pretty much have the best run that they've ever had. I mean, it could possibly be their last run at WWE, but still, they'd be saving the best for last. So as far as where I see them going, clearly WWE. And I would say sooner rather than later. As I said, they have made obligations until May on the indies, but have let promoters know after May it's still up in the air. So, as far as that's concerned, I would say maybe around SummerSlam, due to the whole landscape thing, and of course negotiations and then working stuff out and that. I would say the Hardys could be in WWE by Summers and like debut around SummerSlam. Because they would want to do that for a big show. It's possible it could be as early as Mania, but I would not hold my breath. I mean, it'll be exciting, and I'm sure they want to get the ball rolling as quickly as possible, but if it would be Mania, it would be a hell of a surprise, but as we know, we've seen what Vince does for surprises. Roman Reigns is number 30! Woo! Shocker. But, like I said, at the latest, SummerSlam. At the earliest, quite possibly Mania. But I'd say 90% chance they will be in WWE, and it will be fairly soon. Okay, this is fairly quick news within the last couple of days that, wow, I guess Anthem's having more than one TNA fire sale. Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis are now on the free agent market. To be honest, I really don't think, Maria, they did some stuff with her, kind of had her in a position as kind of the queen bee of the Knockouts division, but it made no sense. I mean, why was she the queen bee of the Knockouts division when she wasn't wrestling? And they really weren't using Mike Bennett at all. It's kind of like Impact treated Mike Bennett as a consolation prize. Because I understand they tried to get Adam Cole, but Adam Cole wanted to get paid. But they got Mike Bennett, and they just it was like after the first couple of months, they did nothing with him. I mean, he was in the title picture for a bit, and then like I said, Lashley came back, and it just, I think it's a fundamental error is why Mike Bennett wasn't utilized properly, is because they seem to have, right now they only have 4 people in their world title rotation, and now you're down to 3 now. I mean, for God's sakes, you got your champion feuding with Josh Barnett. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Josh Barnett's a wonderful guy, but this is somebody who's never been in a professional whose professional wrestling experience is rather limited. I mean, he's a hell of a catch wrestler, but and was a great athlete, youngest UFC heavyweight champion of all time. again, it's an issue of why. And that's why I think they left, is because Mike was underutilized and Maria wasn't even utilized correctly. So, and it probably could also be that of, too little too late as far as the deal from Anthem. So, where are they going? I would say, if we're going top tier, I would say possibly New Japan. Bennett is a great wrestler. Maria works very well as a heel, and very good as a valet. So I would say the indie scene at the highest possible is New Japan, because Mike did work some in New Japan, or the Kingdom, or the with the Kingdom feud and with the Bullet Club, and so it could I could see him going to New Japan, quite possibly even being a member of Bullet Club, but again, that's the highest I think. I don't believe WWE has any interest. I mean, they had Maria before. That's where Maria built her name. And Mike Bennett, as far as charisma wise, just not where he should be. Especially to be top tier WWE talent. And so, more than likely, I think it's, New Japan or ROH. Well, they have a talent exchange, so it could be either or. If you side with one, you can work the other. And so, who knows? And but I think that's their next destination. Is clearly the indie scene, with top tier being New Japan and Ring of Honor. The last one, being kind of a surprise to me, um, Jade deciding to part ways with Impact Wrestling. Um, as we know, she and Rosemary, she started out as a member of the Dollhouse, and then got, then when that whole fiasco broke up, kind of started on. Then they were making her sound like the second coming. She was, Gail Kim's handpicked successor. And then she pretty much became Rosemary's bitch, for the last few months. And that was the thing that irked me about it. Jade's a great athlete. Jade's a great worker. But as far as promo, she's about as vanilla as it gets. I mean, she's capable of putting on great matches. We've seen that. But as I said before, as far as getting people interested in her and her charisma, she's just very bland. I mean, we're talking like how did you put it? Plain grits? Yeah. There's just, you want a reason to root for her, but you don't want to shove down your throat. And Impact seemed to have been doing that as of late. I mean, that 6 Sides of Steel match. The way you had Josh Matthews and the Pope and Madison Rayne all talking up Jade like she was the second freaking coming. I'm not gonna lie, I was really hoping Rosemary would knock her out of wrestling, because I was just sick and tired of hearing that. It was basically, you're trying to sell you're talking up a Ferrari and you sold us a Pinto. Okay, all right. Let's no, not Pinto. Let's say you're talking up a Ferrari and you sold us a Ford Taurus. Now, don't get me wrong, a Ford Taurus is very reliable. I've driven at least 2 or 3 in my lifetime. They're very reliable, will work hard for you, will get you where you want to go, but not exactly a huge draw, if you know what I mean. So, where could Jade go? Um, I would I would venture to say, um, well, I honestly WWE's out because they already have their token Asian girl in Asuka. So NXT would be out, and I mean maybe bring her in after Asuka leaves. But right now, I mean you have a great talent of women in I mean, WWE's women talent best it's ever had. NXT's got a great talent pool with several waiting in the wings to come up. And so I think WWE could any form of WWE, be that Raw, SmackDown, NXT, is out as of now. Now let's not say it couldn't happen maybe next year, but again, not right not right now. So more than likely, she's going to be wrestling in your all-female promotions, getting a lot of work there. So you're talking Shimmer and Shine and Bellatrix and all those. Probably even WoW. WoW superheroes. I think that's what they call it. Is that what they call it? But maybe Women of Honor. That's the problem. She is not the kind of person you can build your division around. She's a good worker. She'll get you good matches. But as it stands right now, that's the best you're going to get. As far as Jade or Maya Yim, if she goes back to her original name, which she probably will because that's what she was wrestling in. But unfortunately, I think that's the best she can look forward to because as much as I hate to say it, the market isn't great for women. It never has been. And so, here's hoping she gets a lot of work because she deserves it. I really think she deserves it. But she needs to improve if she's going to get in any of that top tier, especially WWE. Not to say that it's a lost cause. Because hey, I thought Daniel Bryan would fail horribly in WWE because he wasn't a great talker. I mean, he could have phenomenal matches, and somehow he, stars align, and he became the most popular guy in WWE. So who knows? I mean, Maya Yim or Jade could become something could become of it, but I would say don't look for anything top tier anytime soon. Look for her in the all-women promotions. It's probably where she's going to be, and she can have really good matches there. Well, that is going to do it for this episode of The Guido Goes Off. Once again, I thank you for watching, and it will be interesting to see where these people end up. Speaking of where these people end up, where do you think they're going to end up? If you think I'm way off base, or you think that they'll end up somewhere else, feel free to drop a line in the comment section below, and of course, is it right there? Right there. Okay. And of course, my social media. Don't be afraid to talk to me. We'll talk. We'll discuss. We'll have a good time. Maybe even a laugh or two. And as always, don't be afraid to like this video, share it with your friends, and of course, if you folks haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to highlight that bell so you can get notifications of my new shows. Well, until next time, I'm the Guido, and I think we're done here.